What up, my dudes? Just gotta flip this. Cool, okay. Oh, the fun one. I was once in a TV show. I used to pride myself in primary school by being in the newspaper a few times. Once was at a museum exhibition that me and my nan went to, and I was like pointing like, wow! I don't have the picture anymore, or at least I do, it's in a photo album, but I'm not going to bloody show it. I don't remember the exhibition at all. That was like when I was like 3 or 4 or something, before primary school. And I think the other time was when, you usually get in the newspaper when you're born. It's like, this is the cutest baby of the week, and that was me, the cutest baby of the week, or some shit like that. So my picture was also in the newspaper again. I think that was the only times that I was in the newspaper. Of course, how media has evolved now, I'm on video. It's kind of a weird jealousy thing. It was like a kind of ego, like, I was in the newspaper when I was a kid. Really, I was too when I did this. I was on the TV for this TV show. I had a friend who was like on one TV show. But it was like in the crowd kind of thing, so it's like, I don't know, some weird ego. It's like, I can see myself on TV. Yeah, well, if you can get on for free, who really gives a shit? Because like since then I've been on TV a few times, technically in the audience for different shows. Actually, for one show for like 4 consecutive weeks. Shout out to Dylan for getting me to go to the weekly with Charlie Pickering. That was fun. Anyway, so I was on a TV show. So before I started working at the place I'm currently working at and have been for a year and a half now, this was maybe April 2017, because it was my first year uni. I was completely unemployed, couldn't get a job anywhere, and then suddenly these people were like, hey, you could get paid to be on TV or in the movies. And I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty cool, comparing that I want to, I don't want to be an actor. I'm not against it, but I don't want to be an actor. But I do want to get into the movie business, the movie industry, or TV industry. So I'm like, yeah, sure, alright. So I had a meeting with these people, and they're like, okay, well, it costs like $300 to get in, or something. Like, it cost $200, because they had to take my pictures and everything and sign me up on a contract that would be yearly, and every year I paid an extra $100. So of course they'd get their definite share of money, and I was like, oh, I had no money, and I didn't have a credit card or anything, and so I had to call up Mum, because of course I was like 18 and really had fucking zero confidence for that kind of stuff. And I called up Mum, and she's like, alright, well, if you can get guaranteed that you'll definitely get a job at something, then we'll do it, And at some stage I'd have to pay her back anyway, so $200 used to be a lot of money back then. Now it's very minimal. Very, very minimal. And so I got the contract done and everything. And they didn't call me for a while. That was like really early 2017. They didn't call me for anything for a few months maybe, but then one day they're like, hey, they sent me a text. For the show Picnic and Hanging Rock, they needed some extras. And I was like, yeah, sure, I can do it. It was actually on a day where I was meant to go to uni, but maybe it was a day off from uni. I think it was a day off from uni, so I was kind of okay with it. It was like a Monday or something, so I was like, yeah, sure, no worries. I got the uni the next day, but I don't really care. I'll go to this now. And I did. Caught a train for like 2 hours. I don't fucking know where. Maybe up the Glen Waverley line. I don't know. It was a long distance away, that was for sure. And it was definitely not at Hanging Rock, that's for sure. So we went to a place that in the show is disguised as Hanging Rock for like a scene, when it actually is not there, because it looks completely fucking different. Went to a location, and now, to be fair, this is the only time I've been an extra, because the other 2 times that they'd asked for 2 different TV shows, I said I was good for one of them, but they didn't get back to me, and the other one was like Neighbours, and I had uni on the day, and I wanted to prioritise that, so I just said, no, I'm not available, sorry. And then I got my current job, and they didn't end up texting me again, so I ended up just cancelling my membership, and I was done. Never to be an extra again, maybe. I don't know. I could probably still do it, but like, I don't really care. I earn way too much money from my current job, so I don't care. That would be fun. So I got to this location, I had to get a train, then I had to catch a bus, then I had to walk about 20 minutes up a hill. I'm like, this is me, not very physically fit. Walks up a whole entire hill, so dehydrated, almost froze up, and they're all having lunch. And I'm like, oh, cool. So I came in, they were like, okay, so you're drilling, cool. They got all the stuff, made me fill out a form. I got to sit there and with the rest of I think it was the Cambridge boys. So obviously a couple of extras that were meant to be playing characters from the Cambridge school or something or other, because Britishisms. And so one of the actual actors there was the lead, is one of the leads for the show, and yeah, so that was pretty cool. I've been an actual actor. People kept asking me, oh, did you meet Natalie Dormer? Because she was in the show. I'm like, no, but I met her at Supernova later that year because I volunteered for Supernova and I met her there. I didn't meet her because I got her autograph. I met her because I was on door duty and I opened the door for her and they all thanked me. She had like resting bitch face. So I was like, I'm not going to say anything. There was a couple of actors there I got to meet, which was pretty cool. They were very happy I opened the door for them. I didn't need to, but they were happy I did, I guess. That was cool. Yes. Goodbye. Why do you make it look so awkward? Jesus, I don't make it look awkward when I walk into your room and you're recording. I'm just like, who gives a fuck?
Because it's you, so I make it awkward.
But you know, they can't see you.
But they know I'm here.
But do they? If I cut this out of the video.
Because you're talking to a random person.
Who else would I be talking to? Myself. Maybe one day I'll talk about my con experiences. That'd be fun. Anyway, not today. At least not right now. I'm kind of busy. I've still got time. I'm trying to kind of record as many videos as I can before 4 o'clock because this is like the last day I have off to record a lot of stuff before uni comes back. So there's that. So where was I? So yeah, we ate with the people. Then we got our costumes on, and this was like the year for the scene was set in 1895. It was 5 years before the show, or like 1896, you know, because it's like the show's either 1900 or 1901, but it's Valentine's Day, and so we got dressed. I get completely undressed. I think I was still able to wear my undies. I don't think so. I think they were a dark colour, so I wasn't allowed to. So I had to wear lighter coloured ones that they provided. They were clean and shit, so it didn't really matter. Then there were like long johns that went to like my halfway up my leg, like to here or something. And they put on I think it was just overall thingies, suspenders. No shirt. So shirtless, suspenders, pants, and that was it. Actually, I don't know if I wore a belt or if I wore suspenders. I think I wore suspenders. I can't recall. I don't have any pictures of myself, like, you know, mostly for legal reasons. And so we got out of the truck and literally hours went by and hours went by. It was like an over 10-hour long shoot, but most of that time was spent waiting for the locations to be ready. And then we got driven out to a location, got to see some kangaroos and shit. I was like, oh, cool. Reminded that I live in Australia. Oh, hey. And we got to the location. Pretty cool location. Of course, I had to take off my glasses. I don't wear contacts. And of course, glasses aren't very... I mean, the frames I was wearing at least weren't very 1895 or 6. So I had to take that off. They had to put this fake mud on me, and then they put a patch, like it was a heat patch, because this was like winter ish. This is like autumn, winter area. So it's fucking cold. And it got to like 15 degrees outside in the open with shitty, not very thick long johns on and no t-shirt. So I was cold. So they gave us a towel to wrap ourselves in. They covered us with dirt patches all over our face and body and whatever. Because we had to look like we were fucking mental or something. I don't know. Then we got onto the actual scene, met the directors. Again, me and this other guy who did not speak very well English, who for some reason I was partnered up with, comparing that we both could not see because we both could not wear our glasses. And so like half of my brain was like, I hope my glasses don't break. I hope my glasses don't break. They didn't, conveniently. And so it was wet mud that they put on us. We had to dry it. It was very weird. So we got out of the tent. We walked over this ledge, and we were then on the set. The big wall. If I can show pictures, I will. There are definitely shots from the episode because in context of the episode, it's the main character dude, the guy who in the original film at least is attracted to Miranda and goes looking for her, and then they all disappear, and he's like, I wonder where they are, and he kind of goes insane. And then there's like in the film, it's John Jarrett's character that's with him, and he's like, dude, you're a rich white dude, you can find any chick. But then it turns out that they're both kind of gay, subtextually at least. I met John Jarrett too, he's pretty cool. I did not tell him I was in Picnic at Hang Rock because that did not feel appropriate. And I forgot about it as well. And so that's they're the characters that they are in the TV show, obviously played by different actors. I didn't meet the John Jarrett character dude. I only met the other dude because he was a rich upper class dude, the idea being that he was from Cambridge as well, and he has this experience. So in the show, this is in the second episode of the show. I haven't watched anything past the second episode of the show because it's not great. I wasn't particularly interested in watching it except for my scene, and because obviously ego. And then my scene came up, and like I knew immediately when they got to the set, because this was like they had their daytime scene, and I'm looking at it thinking, that's the place, that's where I was, and my dad was like, yeah, it was kind of obvious because that's not Hanging Rock. That's like the Granges or some shit, like he knew that it was a completely different location. It looked completely different. And like, fair enough. And so I was waiting there attentively being like, am I going to be on TV? Am I going to be on TV? And so back to shooting, we get to the location, and this goes for like 3 hours for very minimal that's in the show. The idea is that we were meant to run around this campfire, chanting, dancing. We had this whole entire thing set up, a whole choreography thing. We had to wait for the choreographer to get there first. Then we did the choreography. Then the director was like, that's a bit too much. Let's just have you guys running around the dance fire with these bottles, pretending to drink, getting drunk, and just kind of chanting and whatever. So it's kind of cultish, but also kind of, it's just a bunch of boys doing some kind of almost supernatural thing. And then that's like the first half of it. So we filmed that. I was running around in circles, going like, hey, and I had a bottle and the cork had fallen out, and I didn't know what the cork was, and I couldn't see it. And so I just, the bottle kept kind of slipping through my hands because the water kept leaking onto my hands. And I didn't really care, we were running around, whatever. And then we had the second part of the scene to film. And the second part of the scene, because it was originally meant to be a guy that was called the throw-up boy, or whatever his name. He was the actual named character, even though outside of the main character dude. Yet, I don't know if he ever threw up. I think they filmed his scene first, and that's why I never saw it. And I don't remember what happened there, really. And to be fair, this scene could be a lot more extended in the actual TV show, but I can't be fucked watching it. I've got it all like taped on my Foxtel player, so maybe at some stage I'll get around to it. But overall, I don't think they will. I think you get the point of the scene, even though it's very, 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 very vague. So the second half of the scene was, we're all running around, and the main character looks at one of the other characters, and it's kind of implied that they kind of have a thingy going on, if you catch my drift. And then the other guys realize it, and they're like, because they're drunk, and then, of course, 1900s, they're all homophobic, and they're all like, hey, stop looking at each other like you want to fuck, and we beat them up. So they beat up the main character dude, they punch him down to the ground, and they beat him up. And so in the show, that's referred to the incident that happened on that camping trip, or whatever, when he went to Hanging Rock. So he already has, like, this weird experience there, which is just kind of like, why would you go back there then? Especially if, like, your uncle knows about it and he's the one who's there with you. Why would you go back there? Anyway. So in terms of filming that scene, the one part that I was most heavily involved was they had a shot looking at the rocks on the walls with the shadow, and I had a top hat on, and I'm very similar in build to the main character. So the director was like, I want you, because of course I didn't want to harm the main character, because he's the actor for the fucking show. They're like, we want you to get to be the guy that gets pushed down and onto a mattress thingy. The stuff you get in a sports gym, because it was on top of a rock. So if I went off it a bit, I would fucking hit my head on a rock. Safety first. So they had the guy knock me down, and they made it they captured it, through the shadows and made it look like he hit me, but of course he didn't. I had to act like I was getting punched and fell down. I did that take a few times. That happened, and then they cut to the shot of me getting beaten up, so I had all these people, all the guys, like, kind of swarming on me, pretending to punch me, and you had the shadow of it. So in the actual episode, when you look at the shadow was me. When you look at them actually running around the campfire, it's also hazily edited and stuff, which is mostly why I hate the scene, because it's like, what the fuck is happening? It's meant to be this, like, drunken haze that this main character is in. It's like, no, he doesn't seem too drunk. But he was just kind of sitting there watching us running around. Then he kind of just looks at one of the guys who's running around, and then they're like, where? And then they kind of have this gay embrace, like, oh my god, we have hands. And they're like, hey, gay. And then they beat him up. And that's the whole scene. That's literally the whole scene. Drunken dance around fire, gay interaction, guys beat him up because he's gay. And so... yeah, so in terms of, I was one of the people running around the circle. I was the guy who gets the shadow of the guy who gets beat up. But none of it's on the screen. Like, the only thing that's kind of mildly on the screen is the shadow, and I'm kind of like, when I was watching it with Mum and Dad, I'm like, that's kind of my shadow, like, because they kind of didn't have the part where I get knocked down, they just had the beat him up thing, so it's like, you can't really even see my shadow, so it's like... And it's so poorly edited too, you have no idea what's happening. And even my parents had no idea what was happening. I'm like, well, here's the context that they didn't, the people making the show didn't provide. It was just fucking obvious as shit while we were filming it, because of course you kind of get that understanding. But nothing just made sense. Nothing made sense at all why we were actually filming. Nothing made sense at all when we actually got to editing it. When it came out. Didn't make sense. And that's it. I don't know if they ever went into more detail. Of course, they probably would have had the conversation between that dude and the John Jarrett character, being like, how he's obviously gay, but it's like, what did it really add? Like, it was just some kind of a subtextual thing in the film, and there just, like, it just never came about as something important. So, I don't know how the show finished. They had the girls go missing by the end of the first episode, because they're like, we got to have all this backstory, but then we got to make them disappear. But then in the next episodes, we're just going to have flashbacks to the characters, so it makes them seem like they're not actually gone, and you care more about them, and you want them to come back. But it's like, but I know the story, I know they're not going to come back, except for one of them, and I do not care. It's like, make us care for the fucking girls. So now I'm kind of ranting about the show, because I got paid like $200, $300 for, I think $200 for that scene, and that pretty much only paid off me doing doing the contract. But of course, Mum was like, no, wait till you get your second paycheck from a different one, then you can pay me back. This time, with this $200, you can buy what you want. And I got some like pop vinyls and some movies, and then saw Wonder Woman. So stuff. I used it wisely. And yeah, it was just, I had to wait a year and a half for the show for the episode to come out. Finally came out. Yeah. At least, I think I watched the first 2, maybe 3 episodes. And it was just boring. And, like, I mean, visually it looked great, it had good production design and stuff, good casting, but it was just poorly written. I think, if anything, the show was just really poorly written, and the way because they'd written it this way, they were like, it has to be that the girls have to disappear at the end of the first episode, but no, they just, apparently whoever the fuck wrote it doesn't know what pacing is. Also, doesn't know what, like, drama is. Like, you can't just have the girls go missing at the end of the first episode and then be like, and this is an hour-long episode, By that stage in the film, you knew the girls, you cared about them, and they were fucking gone. They were gone in like the first 45 minutes, but you already knew where they were, you understood the mystery behind them and the beauty and all this kind of weird nature to them, and you liked it, you were curious, you wanted to know more. In the show, they're there for like 10 minutes, then they're fucking gone. The rest of it's about Natalie Dormer's character, because apparently she's not who you think she is. And it's like, who the fuck is your main character? Like in the film, it's technically Miranda, but then she's gone. And it's like, who's the main character? It's like, it's not about that. It's about the effect. And you look at the effect of all the other characters, and you've got this build-up. You understand who these characters are, the relationships to the 3 girls, and then they're all gone, and then everything breaks down, and people die, and people cry, and people run away, and stuff happens, drama. But it's just done poorly in the show, so I never really watched it. So, yeah, if you want to watch the show, go for it. I'm not really recommending it, but you can, because it's Australian drama, so why not? Like, Australian show, why not? Gotta be proud of your own shit. Except for Neighbours. Which apparently is the easiest thing to be an extra in, because you could be there for like multiple episodes in one sitting. Which is the best thing I learned there, because I never ended up doing an episode of Neighbours, so that's annoying. It's very annoying. Anyway, this was fun, and went for about 20 minutes, so yeah. I don't really have anything else to say about it. I don't have any props for the night. I don't have any images of me being in it. So all of this could be a lie. It isn't. Like, I know I was there. I had the paycheck, So, yeah. It was just a weird kind of technically my first job. That I was once on TV. But I also wasn't. Because of poor editing. Cool. Bye. I guess if you want more videos like this, like, share, and subscribe for more. I'll maybe do something else like this in the future. I don't know yet. I'm kind of tired. My voice is tired. My throat is tired. So I'm going to go back to watching YouTube and have a day off. Yeah. Bye.